in the country. Minister of Finance Joseph Mwanamveka said this during a 2026-2027 National Budget Youth Engagement Session, which took place in Zomwe. Mwanamveka noted that the government is aware of the challenges young people are going through, hence the need to develop a youth-responsive national budget. Details in this report.
The 2026-2027 National Budget consultations took a new turn on Monday when the National Youth Council of Malawi, in partnership with the Ministry of Finance, engaged young people to hear their concerns and aspirations for the new fiscal year. One of the young person, who is also a monitoring and evaluation officer at the National Youth Council of Malawi, Doreen Chilije, described the engagement as fruitful. Chilije, however, pointed out that young people continue to face numerous challenges in their pursuit for a better life.
Youth are hunting for jobs. Youth are looking for startup capital so that they are able to run businesses on their own. But this has proven as a high challenge, because even for youth to access, let's say, loans through banks, the fees that come with those loans, they are so high. So this leaves youth idle and stranded, and then they have nowhere to run to.
Even though he highlighted the high public debt burden as well as forex issues as some of the key challenges the country is facing, Minister of Finance Joseph Mwanamveka commended the youths for their meaningful engagement, pointing out that government will put in place various interventions that will support youth transformation.
So we need to empower them so that they have to have the skills to do other works that can make them productive and add more value to our economy. So I think that's what I've taken note. And so it's about innovation. We need to, there was an issue about research. We need to help them in terms of research, in terms of actual funding, and also make sure that we empower the youth so that they should not be doing other activities that may jeopardize their future.
The Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization is next month expected to present a new fiscal plan that will help support macroeconomic stability, job creation, as well as wealth creation in line with Malawi 2063. Trust Office, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Government has assured that it will incorporate some of the projects in the abandoned $350 million Millennium Challenge Account Compact. Last year, U.S. President Donald Trump gave an order to close down some foreign aid agencies, including a Millennium Challenge Corporation, citing his administration's efforts to reduce federal spending, especially on overseas development projects. The development has since affected Malawi's second compact projects, a development which has sent Capitol Hill into resource hunting to ensure continuity of infrastructure developments. Speaking to MBC, Minister of Finance Joseph Mwanamveka said the issue is on the table as he formulates the 2026-2027 national budget. Mwanamveka explains.
As government, we will try as much as possible to cover where we have lost money by withdrawal of the U.S. government on the Millennium Challenge, on the Global Fund, as well as on the USAID projects. We'll make sure that in the budget we'll partly cover some of these things so that people should not feel the pain of the withdrawal of those resources.
Mzuzu Youth Caucus has commended the President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika's government for what it describes as a positive start to his administration. Among others, the caucus's chairperson, Nkhani, cited improvements in inflation trends, maize and fuel availability within the first 100 days of his presidency. George Nkandawire reports.
Addressing the press in Mzuzu, the caucus's chairperson, Nkhani, says these area gains are restoring confidence among young people and the business community. Among others, he cited relative stabilization of prices of basic commodities, maize, cement, and improved availability of fuel has eased pressure on households and small businesses. He has since urged the government to sustain the momentum by implementing policies that protect the gains made so far while prioritizing job creation and skills development for young people.
Of recent, we have witnessed that prices for commodities have been stabilized. Maize is affordable. There's no hunger. Actually, vendors are scrambling in search of customers because this staple item is available and affordable to everyone. Fuel is currently stable. The only possibly remaining issue is the sugar and other minor items that indeed needs to be looked into. But so far, so good. The business community is thriving. Employees have the bargaining power whenever they want to access the services and of course the commodities that their homes need.
Many Malawians during the 16 September 2025 tripartite elections chose President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika and the DPP. George Nkandawire, MBC, Mzuzu.
The Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, has effected a 40% fuel hike. According to a statement signed by board chairperson Lucas Kondoe, the landed cost for both the petrol and diesel have surpassed the 5% trigger, prompting the authority to enforce an upward adjustment of the two fuels. Kondoe says the decision follows MERA's move to revert to a more realistic pricing mechanism, which leaves no room for artificial pricing, a development he notes has in recent years affected the government's fuel procurement and availability. Effective today, petrol is selling at 4,965 kwacha per litre, while diesel is priced at 4,945 kwacha per litre. The newly instituted board of the National Food Reserve Agency, NFRA, has committed to rehabilitate tilted grain silos, which they say have affected the agency's operational efficiency since 2024. Chairperson of the board, Bruce Muntari, says the issue is one of their priorities as it is a concern to all stakeholders. He was speaking this in Zomwe during an orientation meeting for the new board. Trinity Kapandengo reports.
The tilting of silos at Kanengo facility has been an ongoing concern for some time, with reports indicating that about 12 silos have been affected, with 2 to a severe extent. Several stakeholders, including a parliamentary committee on agriculture and irrigation, called for demolition of affected silos, citing safety concerns for workers and the need to safeguard Malawi's strategic grain reserves. The newly constituted board of directors says the agency seeks to find lasting solutions to the infrastructure challenges. Board chairperson Bruce Montali emphasized that NFRA is engaging structural and engineering experts to assess the extent of the damage to provide recommendations on the way forward to address the problem.
We have had consultants who came to assess the tilting of the two silos, and these are it's a dangerous actually occurrance. But we are working very hard to ensure that we mitigate this problem. And this is going to happen. And that's one of our primary tasks that we need to undertake to ensure that we mitigate the issue of tilting. It's a hazard to our staff and also the public. We are also thinking of putting up additional infrastructure, funds permitting. But meanwhile, I think our biggest task is to ensure that our grain reserves are adequate to take care of any eventualities.
Among others, the board says it seeks to ensure adequate strategic grain reserves, efficient maize procurement from their Zambia counterparts, local farmers, as well as distributing maize to vulnerable groups as the country continues to experience impacts of climate change. NFRA has grain reserves in all regions of the country, located in Karonga, Mzuzu, Kanengo, Lilongwe, Blantyre, Ruchenza and Mangochi. Trinity Kapandengo, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Over half of the expected number of beneficiaries in this season's Farm Input Subsidy Program, FISIP, have redeemed the fertilizer. According to the spokesperson for the Ministry of Agriculture, Salome Gangire, a total number of about 1 million bags of all types of fertilizers have been accessed by farmers since the onset of the program nationwide. We have a report by Geoffrey Ginawa.
In November last year, government through the Ministry of Agriculture rolled out the 2025 to 2026 Farm Input Subsidy Program, FISIP, a program largely aimed at closing gaps in agriculture support systems and ensure that fertilizer and seed reach farmers on time. The 2025 to 2026 program is targeting about 1.1 million small-scale farming households nationwide, with each eligible household receiving 250 kilogram bags of fertilizer and a 5 kilogram pack of seed at a subsidized price. Speaking to MBC on the progress of the program, spokesperson for the Ministry of Agriculture, Salome Gangire, said at the moment over half of the targeted beneficiaries have accessed fertilizer since the onset of the program. According to Gangire, to reach out to farmers in hard-to-reach areas, government has engaged the Malawi Defense Force MDF to help in transportation of the inputs.
Of course, we are on the right path when we compare it with last season. During the last season, at a time such of this, the redemption rate was at 39%. And as we are speaking right now, we are at 51%. We are on the right track. We are committed to make sure that all the beneficiaries, the TC beneficiaries, redeem their inputs.
Commenting on the development, an agriculture expert, Leonard Chimwaza, has hailed the government for ensuring smooth implementation of the program.
We are quite happy with the progress that has been registered so far. With the percentage that has been registered so far, we believe the government has done a very good job. This achievement has been necessitated by the increase in the number of selling depots. We understand that last year there were around 400 selling depots, but this time around we have over 600, meaning to say that the outreach has been extended. Beside that, we have also noted that even other stakeholders have also taken a leading role in ensuring that the beneficiaries get the fertilizers in good time, most especially the Member of Parliament. So through collaborative efforts, that's the reason why we have this achievement at the moment.
The initiative is part of President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika's broader vision of making Malawi food secure. Jeffrey Shinawa, MBC News, Blantyre.
This is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories. Ministry of Finance commits to continue supporting youth-led innovations and skills development to address unemployment. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, announces a 40% fuel price hike. Police in Lilongwe are keeping in custody former Minister of Information, Moses Kunkuyu, for proposing violence. Petroleum Importers Limited has donated 400 million kwacha towards the procurement of fuel that will enhance government disaster relief efforts following the declaration of a state of disaster in 28 councils across the country. The donation comes in response to widespread food insecurity and flooding that has prompted the government's late action last year. Margaret Mabando has a report.
Speaking after receiving the donation, Chief Secretary to the Office of the President and Cabinet, Justin Saidi, described the support as timely, saying the fuel will be used to transport essential relief items to affected areas. Saidi said the donation will significantly enhance the distribution of food and improve mobility in flood-hit areas within the 24 councils declared disaster zones by the President.
As government, we are excited, we are happy, and we are overjoyed by this gesture from Petroleum Importers Limited. As you are aware, we are in the rainy season and so many disasters happening, and His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, President of the Republic of Malawi, declared a state of disaster for all the 28 districts, and which meant that we will be distributing food items, but also issues of flooding and the like. We should be able to move from one point to the another.
Meanwhile, Vice Chairperson of Petroleum Importers Limited, Zubair Bana, reaffirmed the company's commitment to working with government in developing long-term solutions to food insecurity and climate resilience. Bana has called on the private sector, development partners and well-wishers to join hands with government in responding to the ongoing emergency.
We all have to hold hands and work together as private sector and other partners to support the government's efforts, because they have a big shortfall, 200 plus billion, and there's still a 71 billion shortfall. It may sound small, but it's a very large number, and we call upon all businesses, communities and citizens individually to support and complement government's efforts.
In November last year, President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika declared a state of disaster in 28 councils, following projections that about 4 million people would be affected by severe food insecurity. Margaret Mabando, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Muslim Disaster Relief Aid, MADRA, a group comprising Muslim charity organizations, has reached out to over 8,000 hunger-affected households with the relief support since it launched the initiative last month. One of the representatives of the group, Muhammad Chunara, disclosed this during a relief food distribution exercise in Chikwawa South constituency. More in this report.
Excitement was palpable at Nkwangwa Primary School in Chikwawa South when 2,000 food insecure households received relief food assistance courtesy of Muslim Disaster Relief Aid, MADRA. One of the beneficiaries, Alois Bwanali from Kadzua village in the area of traditional authority in Gabu, said the starvation has made her family life unbearable and expressed gratitude for the support. Member of Parliament for the area, Irias Karimu, while expressing joy for the support to his people, underlined that the food situation in the area is difficult and needs additional intervention.
We are privileged here as the people of Chikwawa to receive such kind of donation, and this is what government wants. As you are aware that the current government under His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has prioritized issues of hunger eradication. So this is one of the ways in which we can mitigate and we can how organizations can assist government in alleviating these challenges.
MADRA representative Muhammad Chonara said so far they have reached out to over 8,000 households with relief food distribution in the districts of Cholo, Machinga, Mangochi, Mulanje, and intend to reach out to hunger-affected households across the country.
After hearing the hunger-stricken communities currently, of course, hitting 4 million people, we thought it great that, you know what, let's make it a 1 billion kwacha initiative where we can help all those districts where there is hunger-stricken families and individuals, so that we may help them out during this time.
Muslim Disaster Relief Aid, MADRA, launched the relief food distribution drive in December last year, targeting to mobilize 1 billion kwacha, is part of efforts to complement government initiatives aimed at assisting over 4 million food insecure households, is outlined in the latest MVAC report. Chisomo Break, MBC News.
Police in Lilongwe are keeping in custody former Minister of Information Moses Kunkuyu for allegedly proposing violence when he delivered a speech during the funeral of former First Deputy Speaker of Parliament Madalitso Kazombo. According to one of Kunkuyu's lawyers, Jefferson Gadzibadige, Kunkuyu handed himself over to police at police headquarters in Lilongwe and is currently being held at Kanengo police station. Gadzibadige spoke to our reporter Patrick Dambula.
I came here with Honorable Moses Kunkuyu. When he learned that he was being sought by the police, he came to surrender himself. And when we appeared before the investigators, they questioned him about the remarks he made during the funeral of Honorable Kazombo at Malawi Congress Party headquarters here in Lilongwe. He has been put under arrest and he's being accused of proposing violence.
What did he say exactly?
No, he made a number of points during the speech that he delivered at the MCP headquarters. It appears the state is not comfortable with the remarks that he made.
Now, what will follow after his arrest? Are you sure, do you know as to when he's going to be taken to court?
We don't know when he is going to be taken to court.
Has he formally been charged?
Of course, he has been told he has been charged. The offense is one of proposing violence.
In a related development, the Lilongwe Magistrates Court has granted bail to former Minister of Homeland Security Izakio Chingoma and his former personal assistant Gratian Lungu, who are accused of terrorist financing. The two were granted bail on Monday when they appeared before Senior Resident Magistrate Precious Kondowe, where they have been formally charged. Austin Fukula reports.
In his ruling, Senior Resident Magistrate Precious Kondowe said that between December 2024 and June 2025, Chingoma allegedly transferred 3.9 million kwacha to Lungu through a bank transaction to facilitate the abduction of human rights activist Sylvester Namiwa. The court granted bail after state prosecutors did not object to the application. Among the bail conditions, the accused persons are required to pay a cash bond of 3 million kwacha each, provide non-cash securities worth 5 million kwacha each, surrender all travel documents, and report to police national headquarters once every fortnight. Meanwhile, the court has adjourned the matter to 27th February 2026, when the two accused persons are expected to take a plea on the charges. Austin Fugula, MPC News, Lilongwe.
Blantyre City Council, BCC, has commended its partners for supporting efforts to improve education standards, a development that has seen the city emerging the best performing council in the 2025 Primary School Living Certificate of Education PSLCE examinations. Director of Administrative Services for BCC, Lighton Nkata, made the remarks during the Blantyre City Council Best Teacher Award ceremony, which were held in Mulanje. Charles Pensulo reports.
During the 2025 Standard 8 examination, Blantyre City Council emerged top on selection of learners to secondary schools, beating all councils in the country. The city recorded a 96% pass rate. This prompted the council to award the teachers for their outstanding performance. The event saw teachers, schools and education zones that performed exceptionally well in the 2025 PSLCE examination being awarded. Nkata then commended all education stakeholders in the city for contributing to the success.
We are extremely happy because for a long time Blantyre City or Blantyre Urban Education District wasn't doing very well. So about 2 years ago we sat down with the education sector, head teachers, pairs and of course teachers to plan to say how could we improve. And today we are celebrating the results and the outcomes.
District Education Manager for Blantyre, Crichton Tambala, said the teachers deserved the awards for their hard work.
It's something that has started a long time back. We told our teachers and our staff to work hard so that we get to positions that fits Blantyre City. So they worked hard. And so what was happening today is a combination of the hard work that they did.
Patience Lins, a teacher at Chichiri Primary School, was named the overall best performing teacher in Blantyre, returning it for the third consecutive year. She then said hard work is the secret behind her success.
Being dedicated to work, hardworking, as well as putting God first in everything that I do. I just give it all to God, and that I'm still maintaining the position.
During the event, Zingwangwa was named the best performing education zone, while Chilomoni, Kanjeza and Lukubula primary schools were among the top performing schools in Blantyre Urban. The schools and teachers received certificates and cash prizes from various sponsors that include FDH Bank, Civil Service United Circle, Gift of the Givers, Montessori College of Education and Standard Bank. About 120 teachers were recognized during the event. Charles Pensulo, MPC News, Mulanje.
Finally, in sports, Mukuru Money Transfer Company says its Under-21 Netball Cup is not only aimed at developing netball in the country, but also building leadership skills among youthful players that will benefit the nation in the future. Mukuru Malawi sales lead Beth Mpunga said this in Mzuzu during the finals of the Mukuru Under-21 Netball Regional Playoffs. Meanwhile, Mzimba Queens Reserves are the champions of the Mukuru Under-21 Netball Cup in the Northern Region after defeating Moyale Sisters Reserve by 41 baskets to 24. More in this report.
Mukuru Malawi launched the Mukuru Under-21 Netball Cup in November 2025 with its official unveiling ceremony held in Lilongwe as part of a larger 675 million kwacha 3-year sponsorship agreement with the Netball Association of Malawi NAM. The sponsorship is aimed at promoting netball by identifying and nurturing talent from the grassroots across the country. Speaking during the Northern Region finals of the Mukuru Under-21 Netball Cup, Mukuru Malawi sales lead Beth Mpunga said the tournament is not only helping to promote the sport, but is also empowering young women with different leadership skills for the benefit of the nation.
You know, women are the backbone of the economy. And as Mukuru, that's something that we also recognize. These young ladies gaining those skills, we know that they will take them and they will emulate that in our economy as well. They will lead, in whatever field they do, whether it's business, whether it's careers. That's something that they get to live with for the rest of their lives. So we, as Mukuru, are making a contribution towards that.
On her part, Vice General Secretary for the Netball Association of Malawi NAM, Janet Chiumya, said the association is concerned about the continued problem of age cheating in different competitions.
Yesterday, we demanded some IDs from other players because we had doubts with them. But up to today, they did not bring the IDs. So that's why I stressed very well that we need only those who are under 21. Otherwise, they're not going to participate.
Northern Region Netball Committee General Secretary Ken Piri spoke of the need for the competition to start in districts as a way of curbing age cheating.
It will start right away from their homes where their parents are. So it will be very easy for, to screen these kids, unlike when they are here. Because as they are here at the region, sometimes it's not one team. Maybe they have beefed up, they have merged a team in order to come here. So that's why they are coming up with different ages.
During the finals, Mzimba Queens Reserve emerged champions after beating Moyale Sisters Reserve by 41 to 24 baskets and received 1 million kwacha. Moyale Sisters Reserve went away with 700,000 kwacha for emerging second. Chitipa Home Sisters Reserve pocketed 500,000 kwacha for finishing third, while Resource Reserve received 400,000 kwacha for finishing fourth. Meanwhile, Mzimba Queens Reserve, Moyale Sisters Reserve, and Chitipa Home Sisters Reserve have qualified for the national finals, where they will face teams from other regions. Rudovico Nyirenda, MPC News, Mzuzu.
And that's it from our newsroom this morning. A recap of our top stories before we leave. Ministry of Finance commits to continue supporting youth-led innovations and skills development to address unemployment. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, announces a 40% fuel price hike. Police in Lilongwe are keeping in custody former Minister of Information Moses Kunkuyu for proposing violence. Keep up to date with our news coverage on all our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You were with me, Romeo Umari. Many thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Good morning, and it's time for weather forecast.